live from Daytona Beach International Speedway as we are now getting ready down here for another set of Ruff-Neck Racing and the James Wagoner Superspeedway Series as we are now about to witness Next Gen Cup Series get down at it here at Daytona. Hi everyone, I am Christian, the dead man of the Mike Shriver, and I'm ready to get down here with you guys on the track with 21 of the top tier drivers here ready to get out of here. We'll start them on the pole. Piloting number 69 will be Brian Lashbrook on the outside, and the number 6 is going to be Patrick Ginter. Row number 2 and the 28 is Perry Tolson. The outside, and the number 30 is James Wagner. Row number 3 and the 5 is Shane Whelan Sr. On the outside, and that 99, that's Tim Taylor. Row number 4 and the 33 is Ben Parson. The outside, and the number 53 is Robbie Miner. Row number 5 is the 24, Nicholas Don Francesco. The outside, and that 44 is Mike Presley. Row number 6 in the number 66 is the driver of Chris Phillips. The outside, and that 31 is Juan Cobbs Jr. Row number 7 is the 98 of Eric Opoener on the outside, and that 00, it's Steven Shue. Row number 8 is going to be wielded down there with the 01 of Jeffrey Ladford the outside, and the number 16 is Mike Streminsky. Row number 9 in the 93 is Christopher Parker on the outside, and the number 13 is Chris Ramsey. Row number 10, the 58 is Johnny Hurst. The outside, and number 2 will be Tim Richardson. And starting on the end of the field, the shotgun driver, the 18, Justin White. That is your starting lineup for this one here. This one should be a doozy. Lap formation right now being set on the drivers. All drivers preparing for what could be a very long road to success.
All right, guys. Good luck tonight.
And a very tough racing spot here today.
Race hard. Have fun.
As you'll need to give us 1 second here. We're going to get to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going down racing.
Ruff-Neck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
Field now preparing themselves up here as we get ready to go and set onto the display. Brian Lashbrook, the number 69, will be leading us down here through the start. Patrick Ginter going to be up on his outside. Barry Tolson, James Wagner going to be right in the mix and in the fight. 21 drivers looking to try and take down Daytona and trying to take a win in the James Wagner's Welding Superspeedway Series as they come across off of turn number 4 this time on by. It's showtime here in Daytona Beach. Fans on their feet, fans ready to skid down to the track. Here we come off to the lanes and down from the Ipswich Bay Soap Company restart zone. Green is out. Let's get down to business. You know, it's one of my favorite things, honestly, because right into the start of the race, just let the drivers just let their engines roar. Let them come to life. Shift them into the gears, get them through first, get them to second, get them into third, then to fourth, in some cases fifth, and even sixth sometimes. In this case, only 5 gears in these things. Sequential shifting. Trust me, it's as weird as it sounds. But it is pretty interesting with having to figure this car out, I'll give it that. And right out of the gate, Brian Lashbrook will lead us. Early lead for the number 69 machine as he continues his way on forward. Oh, look out back there. We got problems. Johnny Hurst, the 58, kind of spiraling down there in the back half, ends up getting himself squared back up on the track. Numerous drivers though in that one, unfortunately, trying to get out of the way of one car deciding to go down below the lane and end up finding themselves in a much tougher situation. Take a look at it from the blimp cam here as we roll it back for the cameras here. Take a look at this. Coming right out, bam, right there. There goes the 58 of Johnny Hurst. He just came run down a little bit off that back half there. And the next thing you know, well, he got transferred to the Shadow Realm. He's going to need a little bit of help from the other drivers here if he wants any chance to get back in this one. Continuing the rhythm down to the lanes and through the chicanes here. They're going to now look to either set themselves up for a fuel run or for the long haul run. So far, it looks like most drivers going to the bottom, opting to choose their own destiny. Usually I know Sarah Lashbrook's somewhere in that comment section right now. I haven't seen her yet. I'm pretty sure right now she's celebrating knowing that her man's in the lead at the moment. Full on scenes here on board camera with the 98 of Eric Opoener today, representing the Ipswich Bay Soap Company Co. As they will be presenting the restart certs and the race ends here today. This race also a case brought to you in part by our friends at Precision Fence and Gate, as well as the folks over at James Wagner's Welding. Appreciate to all of them that help support the show and help support the drivers and keep us going in the light zone here today. Power and drive right now for all the drivers, just trying to stay a lane choice, trying to stay in one controllable spot here. And a lot of them sticking to that bottom lane, but it looks like a few of them now trying to get that outside groove going. Now it looks like the number 33 of Ben Parson, former race winner here, looking to try to get something chipped up here as he's got the 6 of Patrick Ginter right behind him now, looking to push into his own. The number 30 of James Wagner, again, he has already been a podium finisher here on the show before. Now, granted, a lot of them has been at Talladega, but Daytona is probably about as most sister of sister tracks you can get to old Talladega. So you can guarantee you that he is right now working through this field and working through these drives and through these ends here, trying to find that lane choice. Parson right now getting a good push there up in the back half. Looks like he's got something coming there for Lashbrook. I do question though right now, like again, how hard they are pushing these things around. How much is that doing in terms of the fuel mileage as well as the overall control of the car? Because again, these things are not easy to handle. As much as I dog on the next gen for some things, and I think a lot of people agree with me on that and say the same thing, I will say this. That next gen car in a draft is not easy to get going and get pushing around. You honestly have to literally be manhandling that steering wheel and trying to hold on for dear life, just hoping that that thing won't cause you any more problems than it can already bring to someone else if they're not too careful around here. And that's exactly what each of these drivers have been avoiding here at the moment. Mike Straminsky right now trying to push something around behind the number 31 of Juan Cobb Jr., while Jeffrey Ledford, a name we have seen plenty of times here on the broadcast channel before, trying to get a little bit of another chip on his shoulder here and maybe looking to bring some showcase to these drivers. Holding on to his racing line pretty good right now. You can see him fighting hard and fighting quick on that bottom lane, dealing with the number 98 of Eric Opoener right now, right up ahead of him. Hasn't quite found his rhythm or found a way to pass just yet, but he certainly is pushing it. Up on the outside lane now, every driver just starting to see different lane choices, different options, but they are seeing one thing is for sure, only one pusher, the other follows. And the one being pushed, well, let's just say you better be hoping you stay on your racing lane and don't lose your grip there. That's one thing you don't want to do. You're on board here with your race leader, Brian Lashbrook, and the Monster Energy jabbed machine today. I think he started a couple jabs there. The driver's trying to make sure he nails a few of them down on the track here. He's been the big old Ford blue oval on the big oval here of Daytona at the moment, keeping it nice and controlled and keeping it well beyond its pacing. It's got a couple of those Monster Energy jabs cars out there. That's another one in the number 93. That's Christopher Barker today. The Renegade, I should say, not the jab. Was it the Renegade or what? Producers are telling me one thing here. I can't get a good look at that thing here. Rehab. Okay, my bad. You see, there's something wrong. You see how much I don't keep up sometimes with these corporate drinks and stuff. I don't know like what most of them even set up for. But I'll tell you this here, we'll give Monster credit. They've been around just as long as some of the other guys like Rockstar Venom and even some of the other big heavy hitters out there like Red Bull. Yeah, credit's due. They definitely do a lot for the sport. Can't deny that. Sarah Lashbrook says someone keeps blinking out. Is that Stremensky? No, that's Juan Cobbs Jr. down there. Here, I'll even prove it to you. That's a 31 there. He blinked out there on our end and pretty much went the way of the dodo bird. Meaning he went away and you couldn't find him. Yep, there you go. I'm pretty sure there might be a minor inconvenience on the internet lines there. It looks like he'll need to try to get that fixed up and switched up quicker than he can hit in here before it's too late. If he wants to go for that race lead, you got to be careful. The thing is, folks, we talk about it constantly. You as a driver are at your own feet, your own two whims, until you realize you can't see what's in front of you. You can't see what's going on. Once you start losing control of the plot, you start losing control of where you're at, man. As a driver, that is the worst feeling you can ever even imagine running through your mind. It's like a feeling of disarray and disrepair. You just can't get it out of your head. Brian Lashbrook right now still leading us down here as Barry Paulson looking from behind. He's got Shane Wheeldon Sr. right there with him here. We're going to go on board here with old Shane. Running in the 5th gear, Ralph. And just hanging on by a thread, if you will. And you can see again, he's not going full speed or full power. You can see him backing off quite a few times there. Again, he doesn't want to make a bump that could end up costing the other drivers in front of him or himself even. One bad bump, that thing turns into a dragster with no steering. And you can imagine what a dragster feels like without steering to begin with. Or a lack thereof, I guess you could really say. Mountain Dude up, number 53, Robbie Minor just getting up ahead there of Nicholas Don Francesco here in the 24. Don Francesco, as of late, man, on these Superspeedways, he's been having quite a career on it. He's been in the top 3 or in victory lane multiple times. He has literally been the guy a lot of people have been trying to avoid getting into too much because he will find a way to somehow kick that thing into overdrive the first chance he gets. And he has not been disproving it by any means. Racers got problems coming up ahead. They've got lap traffic to deal with here as they're coming closer and closer up the verge. That is Johnny Hurst, the number 58. He's going to go up high, try to avoid the field. Those on the outside are going to have to be very careful here. It's going to be a rocky road for him. Let's see if they get around him. Comes right out, up at the top there. He'll get to put a lap down. Not going to be something he wants to hear, but in this case, he comes out of it clean. And he's trying to rejoin in with the field now. It looks like he'll get a little help. He's going to get the 13. Chris Ramsey joining with him there as the rest of the field right behind him tries to keep up momentum, tries to stay in it. Tim Richardson in the back, honestly, not something I was expecting of him, though. Tim Richardson's usually one of those drivers I've kind of seen as of late that has been well acquainted with the tracks and well acquainted with the car no matter what it was. And honestly, he seemed like one of those guys, too, that I felt like could be a front runner in the point standings the longer it goes. But today it seems like he must be a little more under control. Either that or maybe he's just playing possum. He's lulling the drivers, making them getting a self-impression, maybe just a little too comfortable. And when the time strikes, wham, just goes right and takes that spot away from him and gets that victory when they least expect it. I've seen plenty of drivers do that before. Trust me, they've used it on me a couple times. Chris Phillips, the number 66 right now, powered by the Fortnite bus, powered up car here with the Chevrolet. A big bad Chevrolet motor inside of that thing right now, and he is doing everything he can to kind of keep up the momentum here. He's got the Slurpee drinking, and he's got a whole lot of speed kicking. You know what the Slurpee Fortnites, you know, the thing is with them, that things will literally give you more and more health by the minute, give you a little bit more gift by the go. I think he's honestly enjoying that quite a bit here. Although I will say a good refreshing cold ice cold beverage definitely helps too when you're driving that stuff. And then Stephen Shaw in that, in the 00, the other Chevy. Yeah, the Chevy Camaro. This is the updated body, so this actually does help in some ways, but also kind of hurts in a few others because no one really knows what exactly that Chevy body panel and body style really does for these drivers, or what it does for the regular to awesome powered super speedway tracks, at least in terms of the next gen cars, especially in the real world right now. Man, how many Slurpees is that 66 right now been drinking? Because, man, he is gas powering that thing up into 4th place and still hanging on there pretty good. But Ben Parson there right behind him, honestly. He's not too bad at this either. Again, he's going to get a little help here from Patrick Kenter, a few other drivers trying to push him up towards the bay here. I do need to clarify something as well, that yes, even though that is technically not a Fortnite-powered car, that 66, I will say there are Slurpees and blue slushes in the game, so you can forgive. I hope I'm kind of forgiven for the fact that, like, it could be a multitude of things of that when you see that car coming around. But I did need to clarify because, well, I can't exactly be a good announcer if I'm not exactly knowing what the heck I'm talking about. Speaking of Patrick Kenter, here driving the Castrol number 6, and man, that body style, that body scheme has had so many iterations. My personal favorite will always be when you see it on the Subaru styles or the Quattro series of cars that the Rallycross racing has always kind of come forth with it. That probably would be literally what I would say in the Rally Axes and the Rallycross. I'd say that's probably the best paint schemes around, in my opinion, if not one of the more famous ones in terms of the 90s to the 2000s. Winging them down right onto the front straightaway here. We are nearly 1/4 of the way done with this. Well, excuse me, we are 1/4 of the way done. We're nearly 1/3 now in. I do apologize, my voice sounds a little off, or if I seem like I'm kind of off today, I have been recovering from some illness, unfortunately, as of late, so my voice, my mind is a little fried, so I do apologize in advance. Pushing down on the back stacks here now, big runs coming from the number 33. As you hear the motors kicking in and out quickly, cutting in and cutting down. Again, they are almost like pile driving these things as hard as they can on the backs and the fronts, trying to get a little extra push and a little extra momentum covered into the track. So these drivers, no matter what, they're going to be doing everything they can to find the perfect time and perfect opening to make their moves and make their shots here. But it is surprising to me, though, that they've been a little bit more, not so reserved, but more so just kind of not quite as fast and speedy as I would have thought on that back stretch with the top half. It seems though the bottom lane might be the way to go. And if it is that playing a factor to the bottom drivers right now? Is that possibly giving them some kind of, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's giving them kind of a little self-reflection, giving them a little too much of a taste of feeling like, okay, I can be confident what I'm doing, don't have to worry about it too much right now. Something you're going to have to keep an eye on. But on board here with Mike Stravinsky here. Or as Boo from Monsters Inc. might have said by accident, Mike Wazowski, driver out there. He's definitely got his eye completely on the ball though, and keeping his momentum focused. The only thing he hasn't done really is scare too much of the other drivers in a good way in this case. But I believe he's got a little frightful instinct in him somewhere there that says, oh, I'm going to get more momentum kicking, and I would love nothing more than to push this thing all the way to the end and to victory lane. Man, you can hear the underbellies of these things. Man, they are absolutely smacking the portions of the track here and portions of the series here, just getting all that dirty air underneath them and then putting that underbelly down onto the ground like that. That cannot feel good as a driver, stacking your bottom down and having to feel that in your back and your neck. And ugh, that stuff just reverberates everywhere. Speaking of reverberating right now, almost off a 3 wide salute there off of turn number 4. As drivers now head to pit road. Whoa! Hold on. Paulson, Welding Sr., and Lashbrook almost find themselves into the shadow round there going in from turn 4. They had to get into pit road at some point. Fuel wasn't enough that go. I think they were trying to stretch out to that halfway point. It didn't work. Now the strategies will come into play. But again, there's enough drivers here that can figure this out and really take themselves into control. Lashbrook just asks, is there an alien on the side of Stravinsky's car? Yes, there is. Yes, there is an alien on the side of Stravinsky's car. Kind of explains my little Monsters Inc. reference there for a second. Even though Mike Wazowski is not an alien, he's a monster, obviously. All right, pulling up on the halfway point now for these drivers that were laying low in the back. Now comes speeding time. They opt to go in now and make it squirt. For those that didn't go into pit, that went to pit road right the lap before this, I gotta believe they're gonna have the advantage coming to this next pit exit. If they can catch up quickly and get going quicker, they're going to be the ones to really watch out. But in my opinion, that fuel strategy is going to mess up some things here. Here they come. We got a few of them going down. Ben Parsons going to be one of them. Who will join him? James Wagner. And looks like just him and Parson. Wagner and Parson are going to be the only ones in the pit road. Man, these guys in this middle section, they really want to get that halfway run, don't they? Crazy thing is, they already got it. They got 25 laps to go now. At some point, they're going to have to go into pit road. I just think if you're in a bigger pack with this field, you got much more opportunities. You got a much better set here to work around the field than you do, honestly, when you only have 1 or 2 with you. Or if you're on your own, well, in this car, honestly, if you're on your own, I kind of question what you were trying to think about doing unless you were kind of tricked by the other drivers. Phillips and them still staying out. Genter, Juan Cobbs Jr. And looks like if he can get it squared up, the 18 of Justin Wine, he'll go into pit road, but oh boy. He's got some work to do on that one. That pit stop was not his usual pit stop there. That was a tough break there for Mr. Wine. And it looks like from the way I'm hearing and the way I'm seeing it down there, it looks like we're going to have some pit stops to be made here from Chris Phillips, Eric Opoener, Jeffrey Ledford, and the rest of them. I can see their pace slowing down a bit. My live timing sheets are saying their speeds are decreasing. Yes, they are. They're increasing quickly. You've got a whole pack of them coming to pit road. Here we go. Oh, Phillips almost went in the grass, almost got himself into more trouble than it needed to. He gets it squared up. Now the rest of the field are going to try and quickly get back into this fight. Lashbrook, Tolson is going to join up there right now with Genter, Parson, and Welding Sr. Here they come out of pit road. Don Francesco will beat him out. Steven Shue goes next. Copperthorne, Phillips, Ledford, Richardson, Barker, Ramsey, Streminsky, and Mike Presley will join him out. There comes the rest of the field, leading him down off from the front straightaway here. Ben Parson coming quick. Don Francesco right now with the advantage. He needs all of it here. He's going to go full sail, full throttle. He's going to try the same thing that was done at Talladega just recently from Carson Hocevar and basically go the way of aero blocking and speeding it right to the end. Block them on the front. Don't let up. They're going to have to be quick, though, because here comes company. Ben Parson up on the outside. He's got a whole field of them, like a marching band of soldiers coming through. They're ready to engage in the war. Coming off turn number 4. Will they make the move? Yes, they do. Parson to the outside, making the run for Don Francesco and Shue, trying to hold him down. Shue can't do it. Copperthorne can't, and neither can Ledford. But it's going to slow down just a little bit. Here's now they're running right up in between. Phillips now on the bottom and now looking to try to get Shue quickly with his group and with the gap. But Parson, huge run off the corner there, makes a beeline for it. Wagoner not giving an inch. They got around the others, but now can they get around Don Francesco? Will he throw the block? He's going to need to make a smart move here. Oh no, he went to the outside. I don't know if he was trying to throw the block or if he was trying to get into the other lane. But either way, you got a new leader in Ben Parson in trouble. Oh my goodness. How the heck did Brian Lashbrook not end up into the shadow realm? He about set that thing down into the grass and away from the pack. Oh my. Smart thinking on the face of Lashbrook to get out of the throttle and back it down there, and good driving from everyone behind him. I believe that was Ledford and Tolson that allowed him to basically clear himself out of it, get squared up, and get back into the gap and back into the chute. Now they will run their way through with a big pack in front of them. And everybody right now from the 14th car up to the first car is in that pack. So Chris Ramsey and on up is in it. Mike Streminsky, Robbie Miner, Juan Cobbs Jr., Mike Presley, and Tim Taylor, Johnny Hurst, Justin Weingut absolutely will be skewing inside those things right now, just wondering what could have been if they just got the strategy and some more cars with them. That's what I was talking about earlier. One wrong move with those pit strategies, and that's all she took. Sarah Lash says, yeah, Dougie's always full throttle oil. He doesn't even save fuel with a little shocked emoji there. Yeah, don't. Hang on, Miss Sarah. I swear he's okay. That Monster Rehab is still in one piece. I think that's more than we could say for most of our Cullens with those drinks. What, too soon? All right, fine, I'll stop. Producers over here trying to tell me that maybe I got a little too quick with that one. I don't know about that. But Ben Parson right now still holding on down here with James Wagoner right behind him. Dougie's not going to give it an inch. You know he's not going to. Shane Welding Sr., he's not one that likes to give an inch either. He's in a heated points race right now trying to keep himself in control and in contention. Same can be said for that 24 of Nicholas Don Francesco with Barry Tolson right behind him. And again, I would have said Tolson earlier on through this season. In my opinion, he was one of the heavy favorites here, one of the guys we got to watch out for constantly in these races and constantly in these positions. His performances speak for themselves. He knows when he needs to get going and get squared up onto the field. And when the time comes, it's almost like a bat out of the cage and into the limelight. Lets his wingspan fly and slowly but surely starts to unravel that bat into that golden bird that he sees himself in. Fritz Phillips, the number 66 right now, still slurping up a few positions and slurping up some good drives. He is in the top 5 at the moment. Now remember, he started in 11 today, and he has made his way 6 spots up, but it's still not quite as much as the 14th starter today, up in the 4th spot. Just right ahead of him, the Fortnite 00 of Steven Shue. And with 17 laps left to go. At this point, it's really anybody's guess who's going to possibly get this one. There are multiple drivers on different pit strategies right now, folks, and honestly, that could play a huge, huge favor here in terms of what these drivers come up with. Let's take a look at our pit time strategy spin link. On the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see again when everyone went into pit road, how many laps they had, and then when they went, and now how many laps they're pushing up right now. Again, if you are the one that went in on lap number 23 and below, well, let's just say you're really now in fuel saving mode and you're hoping to catch a break here. Those that went in later, say like Parson, they got a pretty good shot here to finish this one up, but the problem is that they are the ones front runner in this thing. So my money honestly is going to be more towards the guys like Shue and Phillips here and Ledford to possibly play spoiler and make the best with that fuel run. If it comes down to a fuel run, I need to clarify that. Jeff says, let's go number 5 in the comments. Jeff, great to have you on board. Thanks for joining us today. The 5 right now, once again, in the top 3 brackets. He's not doing too shabby. He's currently in 3rd position, right behind Wagoner and Parsons. And you can just see the momentum again creeping through the drivers' mindsets, through their thoughts, their feelings. They're all looking to try and stay one step ahead. For guys like Chris Ramsey, though, on that number 13, despite having qualified in the 18th spot, he's actually not doing too horribly right now. He's laid low in the 14th spot, at the 18th spot, moving to the 14th spot, but my biggest concern and question for Ramsey is, when does he decide to go for the move? Does he just try to fuel save the entire time? Or does he wait for that final 5 laps and see who goes into pit road or what goes down in the communications business? A lot of these drivers right now, they are fuel saving because they're just trying to bring in as much as they can. That's why you're not seeing a lot of them going crazy at the moment, but that's a far stretch from nearly being the end of it. Mike Presley there, the number 0, supposed to be in the 44 today. We'll pull it up on the outside lane there. He's going to try and stay out of the way of trouble here. Good on him for at least letting the drivers run their race. As Don Francesco gets a huge push from Barry Tolson. Again, 2 cars are faster than 1. But the only problem with this car is, oh, wait a minute. Caution out on the track. We got a caution. Caution is out on the speedway. Not sure exactly what happened here, but I think we're going to get a look at it right now here. Caution is out. Though I question what for. Let's see. It looks like everything goes. Oh, right there, right there. There's the reason. There it is. The 13 of Chris Ramsey getting in there with the number 1. Caution falling directly, quickly out. I'm kind of surprised they threw it that quickly here. But again, that's iRacing for you. We got to take a closer look at this one again. We'll see for sure who's the one at fault. It might be on the 13. Might be on the 1. We got to look at this coming up. Oh. Ooh. Well, from my eyes, it looks like it might be on the 13. Chris Ramsey. One more look at it. Yeah, that looks like that's on the 13 there. It came slightly up. Managed to avoid more trouble than it was worth, but by how much, I don't really know. Kind of a weird incident there, to say the least. They're going to head their way into pit road right now. So Chris Ramsey is going to be the one that is going to be intruded with the EOL. Although honestly, like I said, that's a very quick That was a pretty quick little caution there they threw. That iRacing did. I'm kind of surprised they threw it as quick as they did because I honestly didn't really see that bad of a wreck. I agree. Yeah, again, at this speed they're going, obviously I can't just be saying that and then at the same time saying that it shouldn't have gone out. The caution was out directly for a reason, and it should have been. But I did question like the fact that Ramsey did save it, got squared up, and it wasn't that bad of a mishap. How come it really was that quick that they threw it out there? Because again, it just as soon as he got tagged, it's like the caution almost came out. And that's not a manual by any means. That, for the record, for what we're talking about here, in iRacing, there are what we call iRacing cautions and manual cautions. iRacing cautions will require basically iRacing to have a little algorithm that's looking for any of the cars to basically be sideways, long ways, or every which way to Sunday in front of a field or pack, or come to a dead stop in a race-ready zone. That will throw the caution. A manual caution will be if the people up in the booth or the ones on the track believe that there needs to be a caution out for some determined reason, or for the stage breaks, if you will, then they will throw the caution. All right, well, man. And just like that, folks, we're going to have 10 laps to go, and you can guarantee everybody win the pit road now. They either went into pit road that needed to, or they were ironing it, but the ire is, a lot of them did not actually. I was paying attention there on the sheets here, and I actually wasn't even paying attention where they were on the track. Everybody from the 13th spot up did not go into pit road. So everybody below them did, except for Justin Wine, but it seems Justin Wine has relinquished the race today. So a tough break there for the 18 machine. But with that said, fuel savings now pretty much less of an issue and more just basically just a convenience. Now comes the racing part. They've had plenty of time to clutch those engines up and get these things squared up once more. Now comes the big one. Who has the speed to finish this one on top? We're about to find out. Field working their way around off turn number 4 this time on by. Virtual fans on the stands, getting up high, waving them by. Drivers buckling them down, tightening them up, stacked, racked, and ready to go back on the attack. This is going to be a doozy. No more kid gloves now, no more saving. It's now just do or die for these Ruff-Neck drivers. Off of turn number 4 to the front straightaway. And back to the green flag, loaded and ready to finish this one on a dime. And they're wasting no time now getting back on that throttle. Welding, Parson, Wagoner, hot on the trail, hot on the gas pedal, trying to get some momentum cooking. They're not going to let up now, I guarantee you that much. But how much of that deadlock is going to become a problem here, in my opinion? Is the bottom going to gridlock up and make it harder on that outside lane to make some moves here unless you're literally second or third? That's the big question. Or can that outside group get going? They're going to try all they can to push with what they got. But I don't know if they really can get these cars less temperamental and more structured than they already have been today. We're about to find out. Big run there from Wagoner, though. Big run. Surprising amount of run there on that number 30. He's going to have help coming from behind. Steven Schuh looking to give him another big push here. He's lining it up. There's the push. Now does he go to the bottom? Does he stay where he's at, or does he go to the bottom and block Parson? That's the big one. He's trying to get down there, but Schuh, he overstepped it, and he moved down the bottom instead. Steven Schuh makes the move instead of James Wagner. Is that the move that possibly cost Wagner here? He's going to have Brian Lashbrook on his back bumper to try to help him out with that. But again, that outside lane again all day long, it's not been giving us much. It hasn't been giving us really anything, in my opinion. Has that now changed? Has the wind of change changed the landscape for these drivers in terms of using all that run and using that momentum? Hard to really say, but Steven Schuh right now, man, he is getting all she's worth from that number 33 behind him. Looking to try to get the victory lane or into the podium for the first time this season. Odds on probably was not the favorite, but right now you gotta believe the Fortnite 00 is looking good. Parson, Welding, gridlocked on the bottom here, trying to push their way through. Opoener right in the mix and in the heat. You are now down to 7 to go. Every line, every drift, every draft, no one is getting an inch here. Back stacked up again. Wagner yet again. Big push there. And Lashbrook. Oh no! Look out! Trouble. Oh! And Wagner even got into that one. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know how the 30 got into that mess there, but that certainly is going to need to be looked at here. But let's take a look at the replay here. We saw there was a lot of movement here, right up in the mix. Let's see who makes the move. That looks like it's going to be on the 66 here. Wagner, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I don't know how Wagner got into there. Oh, looks like he had contact maybe when he was trying to come down. Okay, now I see what happened. All right, one more look at it. See right here, yep. Again, the 6.6 was not clear. Gets right into the 24, and Lashbrook kind of tried to avoid taking the 30 out, and instead ended up kind of smacking him up right there. How come the 66? Went right down into the bottom there, right into the 30. By no means, obviously not his fault, but man, talk about a nasty hit. Good Lord. Lap number 44 definitely giving us something here. And you know what's crazy is, folks, again, these drivers, they were keeping themselves cool and focused. Really, in my opinion, they were doing a great job staying out of trouble and not doing anything too crazy here. And next thing you know, kind of found themselves in a bit of a rut, or a bit of a nut here. And again, the 66 will be going to the back. The EOL is going to be served on the 66 here, but kind of give him a chance here to at least get up to the field here. Lot of damage on that number 69 of Brian Lashbrook. That could play a big factor here for him. And I believe he knows it too. Let's take one more look at it here. One last look at it. And this is what led up to it again. This was basically this huge pack, this huge push and drive. Watch again, each driver, they're trying to find their lane, trying to find their shot. And they come right out this corner here. And again, Phillips thought he had an opening to get in the middle and get out of that mess, tried to avoid Ledford, and just went straight into the heart of the beast. And then somehow found himself nailing the belly of the beast. All right. Now, there will only be 3 laps remaining coming to the line. To you or me, that doesn't seem like a lot. To a driver, well, let me put it to you this way. 3 laps at a superspeedway or a short track feels like an eternity. Because in that moment in time, all you are thinking about is one little thing. Anything but first, or where you want to be, is not enough. The anxiety just kicks up, the adrenaline starts pumping, your blood starts boiling, your thoughts, your feelings, you either gotta shut them down or you gotta literally just tell yourself, focus, 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 nothing else. What is these drivers right now thinking? What are they feeling? What are they going to do on this restart? We're about to find out. Here we go, race fans. Who's going to take this one home tonight? Could it be the number 69 of Brian Lashbrook? Perhaps, maybe, it could be another new name in the pile, like Eric Copperthorne. Could Steven Shue, he's been at this all day long, find a way to close the gap and finish strong? Ben Parson has been a super speedway ringer around these parts. Could he be the one to sting the competition? Could Tim Richardson, the driver that's been laying low all day long, prove me right and be the silent assassin and finish this one on top? Or maybe is Shane Welding Sr. about to wield himself another trip to victory lane? You put him down, you set him down on the ground. Let's get down to business and finish this one strong. Green flags out with 3 to finish. Lashbrook with a strong start, but again, a lot of drivers did not get off the line like they wanted to. Copperthorne needs some help from Parson, and he needs Lashbrook's damage to that right front to fade him here, and he looks like he's going to get it. Lashbrook right now with damage on the right front corner panel could be slowing the pack down on the bottom a little bit too as they go 3 wide saloon down the back. 3 wide does not usually mean good, and that's trouble. No! Oh, no, no, no. Barry Tolson wrecked out through the middle and now in serious trouble. Multiple contenders taken out in this one. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to take a look at it. You know what we usually do. Let's analyze this from the back. Here's the first move. Again, Tolson goes to the middle. There goes Ledford. Ledford makes the big jump. Now, where was the trouble? Ooh. You know, usually, folks, I can say who is who and who's at fault. I think this one might be an iRacing fault this time. If you look carefully again, both drivers were literally side by side, and honestly, that whole left-hand side of Tolson just shot out from him. We'll take a look at it closer though. Watch carefully. See here, he gets up here to the last crook. That's a hard call right there, folks. Honestly, I usually don't have those kind of calls, but in my opinion, I think this might be a racing ordeal. We're trying to see every angle, every spot, every stop that we can get here. There's truly no one at fault, in my opinion. Jeff, it's comment saying cautions bring cautions. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Rashbrook, from what I can tell, he held his line. Tolson, he held his line. Could it have just been maybe the wind caught it in between them a little bit? Or what could that have been, in my opinion? It's hard to say. I am not going to be able to determine a factor in this one. You can in the comment section have a go at me if you want. But I'm going to have to initiate this one as a racing ordeal. Unfortunately, it was a racing ordeal between two front runners in this one. And what a terrible, terrible time for that to happen. Jeff in the comments again mentioning cautions being ring cautions. I hope that's not the case for the last bit of this one. Samantha Miner joins us here on the chat here. Thanks for joining us. Says, let's go number 53. All right. Well, a lot of love down there for that 53 driver. He's not out of the hunt yet. He still has a chance. And now he is in the 6th spot here. Robbie's going to have a lot of work to do here. He's going to be on the outside lane. That could play a huge factor in this one here. I believe this is the first of our 2 green-white checkers, if I remember right. First of 2 green-white checkers here in our precision fence and gates caution zone here right now. Ready to finish this one up as we'll get back to Ipswich Bay Soap Company restart zone for the James Wagner's Welding Superspeedway Series. Parson, Coppathorne, Welding Sr., Ledford, Juan Cobbs Jr., and Robbie Miner will be the top 3 rows here. Sarah Lackworth's going for that 98 and 5 right now. I'm not going to count Brian out either. He's only in the 10th spot right now. Damage fixed up on that thing. You ready to fight one more time? I don't count none of them out, that's for sure. Can't count anybody out in this one. Big restart coming up, folks, off turn number 4 this time on by. Who wants it more? Who's taking it home? We're about to find out right here and now from Daytona Beach. Off turn on the front straightaway to the Ipswich Way. Boat Sump Company restart zone. Green is out, and they are hounding to the front. Opoener got a jump. Parson went down low. He's looking for him. Oh, this is going to be a big stretch here. Here we go. Robbie Miner up there with Ledford. He's trying to get some momentum here. Juan Cobbs Jr. right in the same boat. Opoener and Parson, better be careful. One wrong move out of them, and it could be game over. Field trapped in the back right now as they're 3 wide. Don Francesco trying to get around some drivers and trying to get out of the mess. Here comes a 3-car tandem. They're trying to line it up and hold it. That's a big tandem right there because one of those 3 could easily get this win. Juan Cobbs is trying to get in there. And here we go. This is your white flag presented by Wagner's Welding. Oh, no. Watch out from behind. There goes the back and goes the rack. Multiple drivers racked out on that one. They'll continue this one. Let them finish it. Off turn 1 through 2. No one's making the mistake. Opoener holding down the lane, trying to keep himself clear from Parson. Parson trying to find an opening. Welding looking for the outside run. Juan Cobbs trying to see if maybe he can do it. Juan Cobbs trying to see if maybe he can make a last-ditch faster effort here. But Opoener, he's holding the lane. He's holding it down. Parsons going to the outside, though. Here they come to the finish line. It's going to be a drag race to the line. And at the finish line, it's going to be Ben Parson to the line, holding off Opoener by a mere matter of inches to the line. What a race. Woo! Boy, oh boy. Ben Parson by a mere 0.05 of a second holds Opoener down, but to my angle, that looked more like inches than seconds. And what a victory that number 33 is going to be feeling today here in Victory Lane. Scratched and clawed, held down, fought so hard, and made sure he made everything work. Comment section, pleased with the finish and pleased with the results, it seems. You had it all, really. You had the madness of the big wreck there on the front to turn 1, and you had the big finish leading us to the end. Here comes your results here, presented in part by our friends at Precision Fence and Gates. Final results on your screen here. Ben Parson going to get to victory lane today. Eric Opoener going to go second. Third to Shane Welding Sr. Fourth goes to Jeffrey Ledford. Fifth to Juan Cobbs Jr. Sixth to James Wagner. Seventh to Patrick Enter. Eighth to Robbie Miner. Ninth to Johnny Hurst. And 10th rounds out with Mike Streminsky. That is your field there. If our other driver, Justin Wine, not able to finish, he will be DNF for this one. Well, race fans, you know there's only one thing left to do. It's time to go chit-chat with our top 3. They're going to be joining me here now, race fans. And we begin with your third place finisher here today. He comes to us in the 5, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shane Welding Sr. And Shane, congratulations getting it done here in a wholehearted fight to the end in a scratch and clawed out battle. My word, sir. You had to absolutely hold that thing true to the gun and get this thing in for a top 3 today. Once again, talk me through it.
Oh man, it was a great race all the way through till the end when people start ramping up, getting aggressive. But yeah, I just wanted to, it was really early when people were jockeying for position. I was like, just stay in your line, just keep her true, be there at the end, and try to make something happen there. But Eric and Ben had the front row covered, so I just tried to get back without going backwards.
Try to get out there. We're going backwards there. I know, obviously, we saw Parson look to the outside lane, and he made that big jump there to go for the switch. And I know, obviously, you and Coppathorn and everyone else is really trying to kind of hold back from the field, not get yourself into more of a mess. I mean, talk me through how much harder, though, it is with how much tighter these lanes are here at Daytona versus Talladega. You're probably used to at this point when you're dealing the next gen.
Yeah, I mean, there's not as much room. There's not, you gotta, if you just come off the line a little bit or off your line a little bit, you're gonna get into somebody, especially if they're side drafting. So you just gotta be really aware, spatial awareness. You gotta be really aware what's going on around you, because if you come up off your line because you're not paying attention or whatnot, then it could go really bad really fast.
It can indeed, but today it did not in your case. You qualified 5th. You got her into 3rd. Who do we think today, Shane?
Hey, we're thanking you, the dead man on the mic. We're thanking Speed Zone TV. We're thanking Wagoner Welding, Precision Fencing. What is the name of the soap company? Ipswich Soap Company.
Ipswich Bay Soap Company.
Yeah, Ipswich. I got there at the end. And then we're going to thank Ronster Wraps, the guy who does my paints. Look at this beautiful car. He does a great job. Slowick Stuff. They did great people. My friends, my family, Shane Jr., Jeff Woods, that's always in the chat, chatting us up. And drivers are coming out. Looks like we got some more cars, so that's good. And the admins for putting up with us clowns. And that's about it, man. I'm just thankful to get a 3rd place and a good finish. And my goal was to get a good finish, and if I had a chance to go for the win. So I gotta do some big picture racing. So yeah, it was great. I want to thank Dougie Wagner for putting this team together. We got a bunch of good guys. We got Dougie Wagner, we got Brian Lashbrook, Patrick Gentner, we got Nick Boyd on Wednesday nights. So yeah, it's all good, man. Everything's going good right now.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Shane, thanks so much for coming on by. Congratulations getting down for a top 3 today, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the number 5, Shane Welding Sr. Well, he's going to now join me here in the runner-up spot today, but not without cause. This number 98 of Eric Coppathorn. And Coppathorn, man, congratulations, fighting and scratching for this one. You went down hard and you went down swinging. That much is for certain.
Well, gave it everything I had. Right place, right time, and worked out real well for us tonight.
It certainly did, indeed. Now, I know obviously coming off turn number 4, it looked like he pretty much kind of had the right choice of lane angle, but it seemed like when Parson kind of finds that angle, finds that one extra little bit of boost, it's almost like he put 15 extra horsepower in there just to make one last pass, and it seemed like he kind of nailed you on that one coming off that final lane there, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get as close as I could to maybe get a little side draft, but he also had the 5 behind him, and that was just enough to put him a half a car length ahead of me, and just enough to take the win. But I'm happy with the 2nd place. Very happy with it.
Got to be very happy with it indeed here. Eric, I got to ask you, brother, who do you want to thank for getting you into 2nd today?
Well, I got to thank Ben Parsons because we worked together the last couple, just before the green-white checker. We were right on each other. He said, I was going to push you, we're going to stay in line, and I just got to thank him for doing that. And I understand what he did at the end. I mean, I would have done the same thing in his position, so I'm glad he won. It was a good race. And I got to thank the admins for the league, because they do a lot of work, and they're really trying to make good, clean racing. And tonight, we went green for a long time, and it was a lot of fun. Green flag pit stops you don't see very often in Superspeedways, and so it was nice to see that. It was nice to see everybody give and take and have a good race.
Absolutely. Well, Eric, congratulations getting the 2nd man and taking this one right to the bank with this one, buddy. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for that number 98, Eric Coppathorn. And now he joins me from the tallest reaches of victory lane. Race fans, give it up for the number 33 of Ben Parson. And Ben, once again, you find yourself on the top of the mountain, and somehow, some way, this doesn't ever seem to get old to you by chance of how much you can just keep up with these guys and catch them on the last lap?
Not at all, sir. It's hard. It's very hard every week to keep that many guys behind you, many good racers, and you got to have some luck in some respects, but there's a lot of prep that goes into it, and there's a lot of practice we do. man, it's just it's so fun. It never gets old, especially it's my favorite track. The track with the most prestige for sure. A Daytona win never gets old. My heart's still trying to beat out of my chest. So awesome run to the end there with Eric and Shane. It was super fun. And I told Eric's pushed me to a win before here in the Xfinity cars, and I told him, I said, hey, we got teammates lined up left, right, and center. I'll push you to the win, and on the last lap, if we're single file, I might pull out, but I won't pull out for any other reason. But it did. I apologized as I was pulling out on him coming out of turn 4, because I said, man, I'm sorry, I got to do it. I got a bunch of guys at the Cigar Lounge in downtown Dalton, Georgia, just cheering me on, and just like to shout them out, say hello to them. Juan and Rika there. Always take care of me, and I'm glad to have them on the car as a sponsor.
Well, it sounds like they're going to be quite happy with that one today, getting it back into victory lane. You know, I'm kind of looking at the thing, too, here. Your best lap, you said, was a 46.393. Last one was a 46.679. Not far off, honestly, from that lap. But, I mean, for your sake and for everything else, I mean, how do you find the right time and the right spot just to make that last-ditch effort move on the outside when you have that opening coming to the lines?
That's many hundreds of races logged on this track, and being in that position and having made that move before, not timing it correctly and timing it correctly, having it go wrong 1,000 times. So I knew I was in the right spot at the right time. And it's just experience. A lot of these guys don't have quite as much. I should win a lot more of these for the experience I have, but I'm a slow learner, you know. So, but it's super fun. These cars, they side draft pretty well. They're fairly stable in the pack. It was just, you know, it's like I said, it's not easy though. There's a lot of great drivers in this league, and they make it hard on me every week.
Well, they certainly never made it easy for you here tonight, and if I know one thing as a driver myself, that makes it much more fun when you get that win in. So tell me through who you want to thank for this one, Ben.
Well, like always, I want to thank the league sponsors, Ipswich Bay Soap Company and Precision Finch, along with Wagoner's Welding. They give us a spot to race week in and week out. I really appreciate it, and it's an awesome league, like I said. By far is my favorite league I run. And but like always, Cigar Time Lounge, downtown Dalton, Georgia. They've taken care of me for many years, and I really appreciate their support and their just their friendship. It's a great partnership, and if you're into cigars, you enjoy cigars, give them a call. The phone number's there on my tailgate. If you can give a chase cam or something for the people, you can actually order a cigar over the phone from them. You got to be 21 years or older, of course, but support a local business. And so, and I'd just like to thank you for the coverage. Every week you do a great job, and definitely appreciate you making us look good.
Yeah, no problem. You guys do all the hard work. I just do the easy work. So, Ben, congratulations getting down there for Daltonville, Georgia there. I think Dawsonville's got some work cut out for them there with you coming around there, buddy.
Yep, trying to get a different D town in Georgia on the map for NASCAR. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I don't think we're going to be too far off with as many wins you're pulling off here, buddy. Congratulations getting it done here today, buddy.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last time, give it up for the number 33, Ben Carson. Ben Carson tonight getting it done here into victory lane. And with that, race fans, I sadly must leave you once more. But before I do, a big thank you to everyone for joining me here in the chat. Thanks for joining in the show. From all of us at Speed Zone TV, we cannot thank you enough. Be sure to like and follow us on our Facebook and our YouTube. Subscribe as well. Without that, we couldn't do without you. But till then, race fans, stay safe, be good, God bless, take care of yourselves. Have a good night from us here in Daytona.